Hey VC, this is Greg. Hey, I wanted to do a response to the thread A to Z from our collections, and I wanted to give you what I have. I have so many that I like, different bands. I'm picking out some of the ones that some other people haven't, some have, but I wanted to give you a better cross-section of what I have. And to begin with, A is Brian Auger, Oblivion Express. This fellow plays a Hammond organ, and he does it well. A lot of times he has his daughter singing with him and his son playing the drums. And this guy's been around for a while. He's an older guy now, but he's an English. He plays. They call it jazz, not jazz, but jazz fusion, I guess. But I would say there's a lot of soul and R&B in there too from his songs. It's Brian Auger, Oblivion Express. The next one, big favorite of mine, hometown guy, George Benson. This fellow here, this one's Body Talk. I have a lot of George Benson. I picked out one that I particularly like. There's Sir George. There, he's so smooth. He's a great guitarist, though, accomplished singer. He does a nice job. George Benson for B. Third selection, Gary Clark. I've just discovered Gary Clark in the last 2 or 3 years. He was on an album with Eric Clapton. He had a big concert in Chicago. He does it every other so many years to benefit the charities. And it was Crossroads, and he was on there, and I just loved his playing. And then I bought his albums, his band, and the dynamics on the album, the actual playing from this gentleman is phenomenal. Gary Clark Jr. For C. For D, longtime favorite of mine, Meoli. This one's Elegant Gypsy. This is one of his better, I mean, all his albums are great. I have quite a few of them, but this Elegant Gypsy was an original I bought a long time ago. This fella played on Return to Forever with Chick Corea. That's how I got started listening to him. He is just an amazing guitarist. He does all types of guitars. He goes into those genres where you think this is more like jazz fusion too, but it's really guitar centric because he's so talented. He plays a lot of different guitars, a lot of different styles. Wonderful, wonderful guy. Meoli. This one brings back some memories for a lot of you. Earth, Wind, and Fire for E. Of course, all these different letters, I have so many different albums and artists and stuff, but like I said, I'm trying to give you a cross section of what I liked when I was growing up. This is Earth, Wind, and Fire. Who doesn't know Earth, Wind, and Fire? They have a lot of great albums. I have quite a few of them, but they're just a jamming band. Been around a long time. I saw them one time. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Next, a little bit of jazz, but not jazz fusion, kind of jazzy. Joe Farrell, Upon This Rock. It's a CTI recording, a very good recording, nice sounding. Joe Beck is guitarist. Herbie Hancock's on there as a guest pianist. He gets a lot of people together, Joe Farrell. He plays saxophone and flute. Very good, Joe Farrell. Next one, big favorite of mine under G, Government Mule. I have a lot of Government Mule. I showed one a while back for Tavis's contest. It was a live, they got 3 new live compilations that came out. The same concert, but a lot of great music. But this one here, very good one. Warren Haynes, guitarist. He played with the Allman Brothers. And I really like Government Mule. Favorite band of mine for sure, under G. H, Herbie Hancock. Got a lot of Herbie Hancock. This is Thrust. Very good album. Alphonse Mouzon. He gets together with so many different artists. And you can see this one here. There we go. I think it's not too blurry, hopefully. Anyways, H, Herbie Hancock, Thrust. For I, one of my favorites, Billy Idol. Just love this guy's energy. Love his band. He's got a great guitarist in his band. I've watched him live, and it's just amazing. Although Billy commands the stage. He's got a great band. Billy Idol. What's more to say about Billy? For Jay, and I hope I got this alphabet right. It's been a long time since I recited the alphabet. I think I did it 3 times. I hope if I miss one, you let me know. Jarreau, big fan of Jarreau. I took my wife to see him a long time ago down at the theater downtown. She loved him, and she really never heard of jazz, and especially jazz like this with a singer. This was a particular original master recording that I picked up at a flea market. Real cheap, real good shape. I was surprised to get it. Jarreau. I got a lot of Jarreau. Next one for Kay. A little more jazz. Steve Kahn. He's a guitarist. He plays with a lot of different people. David Sanborn. Let's see on this album. Who's he got? Steve Gadd, Will Lee, David Sanborn too. Steve Kahn for K. For L, Alvin Lee. Love him. 10 years after, where I really got a taste of Alvin Lee, and then I started buying his solo work. I just love the way he plays. Gone too soon. Great guitarist though, left us with a lot of treasures to listen to. This one here is called In Flight. Very good album, Alvin Lee. And one of my biggest favorites, Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush. Just love this band. This particular one in live, a lot of good songs on here. I like live albums, I really do. This particular Frank Marino, and then this particular CD that I got. This is the first thing I ordered online. I usually buy my stuff on the cheap, but this one I paid full price for. This live set. They're actually coming out with one of the, I guess one of the discs. They're going to have Volume 1, Volume 2. I wish they'd put them out together. Record Store Day, they're putting out a Frank Marino of this concert on vinyl, and I hope to get it. I really do. This concert here, it's called Real Live. It's a 2 CD set. It's got a lot of great songs on it. Get it to focus. A lot of Jimi Hendrix covers. This guy is so good of a guitarist. He's got a great band, obviously, too. He's been around a long time. But Voodoo Chow and He's Calling, Red House. I put this on and I just melt. It's just fun. Oh, sorry. Divulge. N for Nirvana. This is Bleach. I have a couple other Nirvanas. They're hard to find. This is a reprint, but it's still a great sounding record. I can thank Hannah for inviting me into Nirvana and a few other bands. There's a lot of pop bands that I'm not really, back and forth with all you guys out there, but that's okay. But some of these newer grunge bands I'm really enjoying, and not newer grunge bands, but newer to me, like Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Soundgarden, all these bands that kind of went under the radar for me because I have all the, the Led Zeppelins and the old, fuddy buddy stuff, like Genesis and Yes and all that, which is all good. I love it, but I really getting into the newer stuff. This one, Ozzy Osbourne for O. He was with Randy Rhoads on this. It was called Tribute. I found this at a Goodwill for 69 cents. It's a 2-record set, and it is clean. Beautiful set. I was really lucky to pick this one up and a few Alice Coopers. Somebody dumped their records, and I was the first one at the crate. That's the only time that I've ever found that happen, but this is a great find that I found for 69 cents. Ozzy. It's a great album. The P, representation from my collection, Luc Ponty. Some of you are familiar with him. I know Ron Haggerty is. He's been getting into some of his work. I have most of his work. I love this guy on the violin, and he has a great guitarist with him most of the time with all his albums. It's kind of a dreamy kind of music, but Bill at the Vinyl Verse, I think you would love Luc Ponty. I really do. That's P. Q, another favorite band of mine, Quicksilver. You can see that with the light. It's kind of shiny. I got this for a real good price at an estate sale. Boy, it was tough finding records in that estate sale because it's like being a pack of lions going after one gazelle. But I managed to snag this one, which is great. That's Q. R, favorite band of mine under R, among many others, Return to Forever. Chick Corea, I love Chick Corea. I have a lot of his solo work, but the Return to Forever, when these guys get together, oh my goodness. Stanley Clarke, L.D. Meoli, Flora Purim sometimes. Wonderful albums. I have most of their works. Really loved them from day one. Return to Forever. Jazz, jazz fusion. Now here's a psych band. I guess they might be considered Spirit for S. I love Spirit, always did. These albums go back a long way with me. I just love their vibe. I love Randy California is a wonderful guitarist just to listen to. I've got a few of his solos, but the Spirit family that plays together. This is 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. A lot of you are familiar with it, I'm sure, especially you psych guys. Fun listen for sure. For T, so Robin Trower, I really enjoy him. I have a lot of his work. I just love the way he rolls with his tunes. His guitar playing is unique, just like so many others. Love me some Robin Trower. This one's Uriah Heep. Spellbinder. I have a few different Uriah Heep, some live, and I just love Uriah Heep. They're a great band to listen to when you're getting real wasted. Just love their music. This one was reissue, but it's in really nice shape. I think it's a 2-record set. Yeah, a lot of good music on there for sure. U for Uriah Heep. My favorite under the V, one of my favorites anyways, Stevie Ray Vaughn. Love this guitarist, a lot of his work. Discovered him 6-7 years ago. Got all the CDs, mostly all the records. They have a box set that you can get for like 400 some bucks. Boy, would I love to get that. But that's not going to happen. But I got most of his music anyways. But that box set looks sweet. It's all 45 RPM records. W. Newer band that I've been getting into the last 3 or 4 years, Widespread Panic. Just love this band. I bought a couple box sets of their live concerts back in 2000 and 1997. It's hard to pinpoint them as far as saying who they are, but if you mixed a little bit of Allman Brothers and Little Feat together and stirred it up, you get some Widespread Panic. Because they got everything. They got the organs, the keyboards, strings, just everything. Wonderful band. I love them. Widespread. Yes is my why. And why you say? Well, you know, it's Yes. And this is Relayer, one of my favorite albums of Yes. Oh, you know what? I skipped over X because XY. Yeah, X. I don't have any X. I just don't have any CDs, albums. I know some of you guys got XTC and stuff like that, but I just don't have any X. Someday I'll have to pick something up, but I'm going to actually give you an extra W. This CD, Roger Waters. It's called In the Flesh. It's a two CD set of standards from The Wall. Not so many from The Wall, but if you can see it, let's see if it'll focus. Great jams, but there's pros and cons of hitchhiking, Amused to Death, a lot of songs. And what he did was he was just feeling his oats with this one. This particular live set that was recorded over two or three different places out on the West Coast. Great album if you like Roger Waters. Lastly, holding up the end, Frank Zappa for Z. I like ZZ Top, I like a few others, but Zappa's my favorite under Z. And this one I got for Record Store Day last year, and it's a great spin. Love the songs on it. They're digging stuff out of the vault like they're doing for Hendrix, and I'm just enjoying it. That's another one I'm loving is Hendrix, with all the stuff they're bringing out from the vault. Thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate watching your videos. I try to comment when I can if I have something relevant to tell you. I just enjoy watching all your videos. I hope you enjoy mine. Thank you so much.